Suzanne's Paparazzi. Suzanne's Paparazzi Jewelry, 24/7 shopping available. 160920 is the code. Show her some love, like she showed us.
Welcome, everybody, to Morning Tailgate here on Coast to Coast Entertainment Network. I am Crispy Bacon, here with James Gonzalez. How you doing today?
I'm good. Now, we're in the morning. We got our coffee. Everything's good. College football action last night was awesome. I can't wait to get into, all the NFL games that are going on. It's been a wild weekend so far of football. And, this NFL season, it's been funny because, Chris, we've had so many teams that we can't figure out yet. And then we've had so many injuries that we'll go through, in each team pick here, game pick. But yeah, it feels like we're just filling out the season so far. We know who the contenders are, and then everybody else is either really mid or just really bad. We got to figure it all out.
We do. I feel like two teams are kind of there. Like they're not going to move anywhere. Everybody else, I'm not sure about, and we'll kind of go over that here in a little bit. What was your thoughts on Thursday Night Football? We had the Broncos and the Chiefs.
Man, Taylor Swift was in the building. I think she was on the screen like 6 or 7 times. I know that was a thing coming in. It was like, oh, let's not get away from the game. Make sure you don't show Taylor Swift too much.
They need to have their split screen like they do for commercials.
Oh, would you imagine that, having a little box in the corner like they used to have, and it would show somebody's face or reaction, and they just have Taylor Swift the whole time? If the NFL was smart, they could charge people that really want to see Taylor Swift, just have the ISO camera on her the whole game.
The NFL has the all 22, the condensed game, the full game, and the Taylor Swift game.
That's right. That's right.
There you go.
Yeah. Denver versus Kansas City. The Kansas City Chiefs are trying to make it 15 going on 16 wins over the Denver Broncos, and they did that. Imagine that. This is becoming the Patriots when they had Brady all those years over the AFC East. It's becoming that with the Chiefs over the AFC West teams. I mean, the Raiders haven't... 16 losses straight. The Raiders haven't defeated the Chiefs since week 5 of 2020. And I think because that was like little capacity in Arrowhead at that time, it's the only reason why the Raiders held on to win. The Chargers, I think, got swept by the Chiefs last year and maybe the year before. But you could tell it is Chiefs Kingdom, which I hate. Russell Wilson didn't look good. 95 yards passing only, 13 for 22, 1 touchdown, but 2 interceptions. And this year you feel like, Russ was doing okay, but then the last 2 weeks he's been off. It's to the point where he's a fraud, basically. He's not what he used to be. It doesn't matter who is the head coach. It doesn't matter what weapons you put around him. It doesn't matter at all who's on the Broncos. It all, I think, puts on Russell Wilson's shoulders, and I think it's too heavy for him to carry the burden. So he is really bad right now. The rushing attack, Javonte Williams only 52 yards and 10 carries. Courtland Sutton had 4 receptions for 46 yards, 1 touchdown. But man, that's pretty much it. Jerry Jeudy, 3 for 14, 3 catches for 14 yards. The week leading up to the game, he was getting criticized nationally and locally in Denver for not getting off the line well, not blocking, almost like Chase Claypool. I could imagine him maybe getting traded. I know that they were able to trade Randy Gregory away to the 49ers, and he'll be playing this week. But you could tell the Broncos, this was the year of like make it or break it, and I think they're going to do a lot of dealing. You might even see Courtland Sutton traded, but also you have to think, will they do the thing I don't think they should do? But teams are going to ask for Patrick Surtain, the second or third. I forgot what his name is, but people, teams are going to ask for him, like the Bills. They need some corner help. A lot of teams out there need defensive help.
They do, and it looks like Russell Wilson is not going to be there next year.
And that's a lot of money that I know the Broncos have, the owners of Walmart, but man, that's a lot of money to eat. Yeah, that's a lot of money to eat for the all those years remaining. I think 4 or 5 years left remaining on this deal. That's a lot of money that they'll have to eat up. And then I guess if you're doing that, you're tanking basically. So you better go get one of these college quarterbacks in a draft. And if you have to, if you can, trade up if you're trying to get number one. But
like your USC quarterback.
Yeah, but I don't know if he's going to stay another year because he's making money off, with the NIL deals.
True.
So that affects the whole thing. And then supposedly it has to be 1 of 5 markets, has to be a big market, but Denver is. I think that would make it happen. For the Chiefs, though, Patrick Mahomes didn't have the smoothest of games, so he still threw for 306 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, 30 for 40. Pacheco ran pretty well. And Travis Kelce, with his girl in the crowd or in the suite, 9 receptions, 124 yards. He did his thing. And then it was good to see if you're a Chiefs fan because me and someone else were talking about, hey, maybe they're going to trade for Hollywood Brown. Maybe the Chiefs should have went out and got DeAndre Hopkins, but he was asking for too much. He should have went the Juju Smith-Schuster route and go to Kansas City, get yourself a ring, and then go get your money next off season. They didn't do that. So the Chiefs, they could be in the running for Hollywood Brown, another receiver, but Rashee Rice had a really good game. The rookie receiver out of SMU, that was really good to see. So both defense, Kansas City's defense took advantage of the 2 interceptions. That was a really good game. For the defenses because it was pretty ugly offensively. I know the Chiefs had a fake punt and they ran it up the middle. It was weird to see a punter do kind of a tush push. That was kind of crazy.
Each team needs to have their own name of a tush push.
It can't be just tush push. It's got to be something related to them. That would be cool.
It would.
This game was pretty ugly. It just showed how much Denver is out. The score was ugly too, 19-8. So that was my assumption of Thursday night.
And I got a little. You think that score was unusual? 19-8.
Yeah, it was, and it was almost a scoregami. I think I forget who had to score something else, but they almost had it.
So it only happened one other time.
Yeah.
19-8, and it happened 96 years ago. Where this is a football team, not a baseball team. The New York Yankees beat the Buffalo Bison 19-8.
Wow.
Yeah, back in 1927.
That's when they just ran the ball. They didn't even pat on a Wednesday. Oh wow! Nobody.
Wednesday night football.
Man, that's crazy.
So yeah, and then we have Sunday morning football in London. Final London game of the 2023 season. We still have Germany to go, but last one of London, Baltimore and Tennessee. Who do you think is going to win that one?
Well, I'm kind of worried about the turf there, and that affects Lamar Jackson. I know Odell Beckham's been worried about the turf. Remember, he got hurt in the Rams Super Bowl, so he's noted of the turf. Von Miller, I remember listening on the Pat McAfee show, was saying that when he was playing with the Bills last week, he was kind of fearful of it too because he was coming off a bad injury, almost the same, I think, as Odell. So. See if that plays into this game. I know the Ravens are getting some players back, but they did lose their running back, so that was unfortunate. But it's going to be all Lamar Jackson. I expect him to get back on track. The Titans, we don't really know who they are. Marlon Humphrey, the safety for the Ravens, is basically on a pitch count. Basically, he's going to be monitored throughout the game to see how he plays, but I think he will suit up. And the thing, too, about this, because remember we talked about the Bills flying over on Friday to London last week. The Titans are barely just getting there, I think, yesterday or the day before, or I think on Friday. The Ravens have spent the whole week there. They flew over right away, which was very smart.
Yeah.
Because Jacksonville, they stayed there since they were the home and away team,
Yeah.
basically. So it's a good thing that the Ravens did that. We'll see if they're fresher and they're better than the Titans, which could be the case anyway. The Ravens, all they have to do is just stuff Derrick Henry. They have to make Tannehill uncomfortable, and I think they get the win. I think Baltimore wins, but it's going to be a really low and ugly score, I think.
Yeah, I think Baltimore gets the score, gets the win and all that. Tim said that Baltimore was going to win that game too. We'll get Big B's picks later on. But yeah, I think most everybody's going to pick Baltimore in that game. As for the early afternoon games, we're kicking off with Washington and Atlanta. What do you think of that matchup?
Washington coming off a
loss.
A loss against Houston,
Chicago.
right? No, Chicago. That's right. On Thursday Night Football, right? 40-20. I've been lost all week. It was great to see. The Bears have their week, but Washington, they're so up and down. It seems like they had a great 2 first weeks, and then reality, I think, hit them. And somehow, I think he's been sacked or hurried a lot this season so far. I think around 60 times or something like that. But it's been really bad for the Commanders there. For the Falcons, they escaped with a win against Houston at home. They get another home game. And it's great to see the crowd there. I know Atlanta's not really a professional sports town. They love their college teams or the teams around there, I guess. But
they got soccer.
Yeah, they're coming out for basketball. That too. Yeah. It's mostly a Braves town when it comes to professional sports.
That's true, yeah.
And then whenever, the Falcons get hot, you see like they did in 2016, people will come out. Right now, Desmond Ritter's playing a little better. They got Kyle Pitts involved in the offense last week. That was really great to see. They got to get Drake London more involved. Bijan Robinson can do an array of things. Cordell Patterson will be back. Hopefully they can run well and pass well. And then the defense come up with some timely stops like they did last week. I'm going to go with the Falcons on this game.
Yeah, I am too. Tim's also picking the Falcons. It's going to be a fun game, I think. Hopefully Washington can fix their up and down streak. In Atlanta, I'm still undecided on Ritter, but we'll just see what happens there. New Orleans and Houston. Tim picked Houston. Who do you got for this one?
I think the Saints fans are going to travel well. It's not too far of a drive or a flight from New Orleans to Houston. No. So I think the Saints fans are going to show up and they're going to maybe take that stadium over. But man, I'm really happy for C.J. Stroud. He had a first couple of hard weeks. He was getting pressured a lot and sacked a lot. And then I think they're getting Laramie Tunsil back, the left tackle. That's going to be helpful for them. That's going to be a lot of fun to see if these two offenses can score. And then Derek Carr, he just has to limit the turnovers. Kamara should have a really strong game unless the Texan defense, crumbles on him. Chris Olave, going up against C.J. Stroud, the two Ohio State teammates at one point. That's going to be interesting. It's both our offenses, but Excuse me. I think that's going to be a really good matchup. I'm gonna go with the Saints, but I think it's gonna be a really close game, just like the Texans played last week. And the Saints, they had a cakewalk against the Patriots, but it won't be as easy. But I think the Saints defense, they get some stops. I think the real question is, will C.J. Stroud finally throw his first pick against the Saints defense? That's something to look forward to in this game. So I'm gonna go Saints by maybe a field goal.
Ooh, that's a close one. I got the Saints too. I don't know if it's that close, but I got New Orleans. I like what CJ Stroud is doing. I feel like he's been one of the most successful rookie quarterbacks in the NFL this year. All the other ones seem to be okay, but you have Richardson, who's been in and out of the lineup, mostly out right now due to a shoulder injury. Before that, it was a concussion. But we'll get to their game here shortly. But I like what the Saints are doing. I feel like they can outmaneuver, C.J. Stroud. San Francisco and Cleveland.
Ugh.
San Francisco's on a hot streak. Cleveland's kind of getting there, but they are missing key players. Who do you got in this game, James?
Yeah, looking at this game, man, Cleveland, they're without Watson. His shoulder injury just lingers. It lingered from before game 4, literally before week 4. He was out there practicing 2 hours before, warming up, and he couldn't make the simple throws. So either he didn't want to, hurt the team, or he didn't just want to play at all. So he's out for this week. And then Dorian Thompson-Robinson is also out. So PJ Tucker will have the start against the 49ers. Yikes. The XFL player.
Yes.
So that's going to be interesting to see him. He hasn't had many, games in his pocket. So, man. And then David Njoku, credit to him for playing in week 4, even though he's kind of a decoy, blocking Ghost out there. But his face was all burnt up. That's why he had that big mask on. And then during the game, he had a covering mask. Imagine playing with that. You get sweaty and everything, and you have a mask, and you have 3rd-degree burns and all that.
How did that happen? I forgot how that
happened. It's not official, but I want to say he was trying to ignite a fireplace of some sort that was open, and he was probably standing right, right on top of
it.
Yeah, and he probably had some lighter fluid, and then poof. All over his face, and you saw how it was all over his face, really, really bad. He'll be out this week though, despite having the bye week. I think maybe for a couple more weeks, because that's something you have to be able to see, you have to be able to absorb the hits and all that to the head. That's just crazy. 49ers though, it's the total opposite. Everybody's healthy, everybody's doing well. Brock Purdy throwing the ball over the middle pretty well. They sliced and diced the Cowboy defense last week. 42-10 victory. They just look like Super Bowl champions. And I know someone that thinks that they're going to go 17-0 with no problems. Who knows? I mean, their schedule. Man, I know they have the Eagles in December, and maybe that's the only game that you can have them having trouble if they're fully healthy. So in this game, I'm definitely going 49ers. Now, the conditions might be a little sloppy. A wet field after some rain will pass. So it'll be the 49ers. It'll be an easy win, but they won't put up as many points, I think.
Yeah, I got San Francisco too. Tim does too. I feel like it's San Francisco's pick. Even if they lose 1 or 2, I feel like it's going to be San Francisco's pick. They got the most dominated, the most feared team in the NFL, I think, maybe besides the Eagles. But I just watching that game last week, I feel like there's no flaws. Could be wrong about that, but I don't watch a lot of 49ers football, but I just feel like there's no problems there. It's kind of scary. Seattle and Cincinnati. Who do you got for this one?
Man, this one is dripping with intrigue because the Seahawks are 3-1, coming off the bye. The Bengals got off the schneid, so to speak. They're 2-3. Joe Burrow, he looks like himself again for now. He got to Jamar Chase, who said he was wide open, like 7-11. He caught 3 touchdowns. The Cardinals, couldn't defend it well. They won 34-20 to Cincinnati last week. This is going to be a fun matchup because you have Devon Witherspoon, who's a corner rookie for Seattle, going up against Jamar Chase. So that's going to be a big battle. DK Metcalf will have his. It's going to be a really, really fun game. Despite Kobe Bryant, the cornerback going on IR for...
Not the basketball player?
Not the basketball player, RIP. I don't think Tiggy Higgins will go for them, but I think Cincinnati will still get the win. It's going to be a really, really fun game, maybe a shootout if Geno Smith doesn't turn over the ball. I'm going to go Cincinnati with the win.
Yeah, I am too. Joe Burrow looks like he's back to form. It was kind of scary the last few weeks because they looked pretty bad. Seattle's been okay, even without without Russell Wilson there. I feel like they've been an okay team. They've been in the running for games, but Cincinnati's going to be tough to beat. Divisional matchup: Minnesota and Chicago. Pretty much, Tim said Minnesota's going to win that game. Who do you have for this one?
This might be a really ugly game. That's also going to maybe the rain will be there, I think, or it will be a wet field just like Cleveland. I think Chicago wins. They barely escape winning. Commit, the tight end, will be back for the Bears, but the running game will be kind of altered because Herbert will be out, and then someone else is out, of course, for the Bears as well. Deontay Foreman will get the workload for the Bears for the running back. So we'll see if he has a good day against the Vikings defense. That's kind of, really bad when you think about it. They're struggling all over the place, and it doesn't help that Justin Jefferson will be out 4 to 6 weeks, or maybe even more, depending if he wants to come back. I know Kirk Cousins, he'll play in this game, no doubt, and I don't think he'll waive his no trade clause to go to be traded somewhere else. I think he's going to play out the season, being a free agent. I have to think that the Bears win this game, but it would be pretty ugly. The thing is, Jordan Addison, he's also got an ankle injury. We'll see if he goes for Minnesota. I think possibly it'll be a Bears win, but they're going to have a flyover and a little pregame ceremony for Dick Buckus, who passed away. He was a Bear legend defensively. He would still go to games even at an old age and support the Bears. And I think the Bears are going to win again, which sounds crazy, but I think they're going to go on a winning streak here.
I think so too. I got Minnesota winning this game. I think only because it's I guess an afternoon game. Minnesota could win this game, but who knows? I hope Chicago can win it, but I feel like it's Minnesota's game. Another divisional game: Indy and Jacksonville. Who do you got for this one?
The Jaguars have defeated the Colts every year since the Andrew Luck era ended. That's crazy to think, but that was true. Gardner Minshew will get the start for the Colts after Anthony Richardson will be out a month or so. That's really unfortunate because I think Anthony Richardson was finding his way, but he keeps taking hits. He keeps getting injured, so that's something to look out for the rest of his career, maybe. But Gardner Minshew, he mentioned he doesn't want to take this as a revenge game, but you have to think that he's a little smarter than that. He's going to want some revenge against the Jaguars. Jacksonville coming back from London, and they got the win, of course, last week, 25-20 over Buffalo. ETN looks like a beast. I think he can run through the Colts pretty well. The Colts, barely held on against the Titans. Man, I'm gonna go Jacksonville. They keep it going against the Colts at home. Again, that Andrew Luck streak in Jacksonville, or after Andrew Luck, that streak I think will continue for Jacksonville. I do want to see Calvin Ridley get more catches. I do want to see that, and then spread the offense around. If you're Lawrence, go to Ingram, going to other receivers that they have. I think that'll be awesome. Ollie Cox will be out of concussion protocol, so we'll see if they get some touches for him. But man, I just think I think the Jaguars prevail this game.
I do too. I think Jacksonville can win this game. I think there is a streak going on with Jacksonville and Indianapolis that Indy can't win in Jacksonville or something like that. They seem to have problems. But I think it's going to be Jacksonville. Carolina and Miami.
Yikes.
Who you got for this one?
Definitely Miami.
Sounds like a disaster.
Yeah, Carolina, the only team that has not won a game yet. They're 0-5. Miami coming off the win against the Giants, They're 4-1. I know the Dolphins will be out without a Chan, but I think Mostert is still a beast. The Panthers can't really stop anybody, and then they get points, but later on, it's not really sustainable what they're doing. I wonder if they're a team, Chris, that maybe they make some trades before the deadline. I mean, they've signed some veterans, but I don't know if those veterans want to stick around. This game might even further that if they go 0-6. But I think Miami wins pretty easily. Maybe more. I don't know if the same amount that they beat New York by. Excuse me, because the Panthers have some veterans on their team. But Bryce Young, he's going to be running for his football life there. So I'm going to go Dolphins pretty easy.
I have too. I'm going with Miami, Carolina, and who's Carolina's quarterback?
Bryce Young. And then Miles Sanders will be out for the Panthers as well.
I'm not seeing much from Bryce Young.
No.
I thought he was supposed to be really good, and I've heard talks that he's not that good. It's kind of short.
That's the thing, Chris. Remember when the draft was going on, the Panthers had to pick between C.J. Stroud and Bryce Young. And I think it was Josh McCown, who is the quarterback's coach in Carolina. He wanted Stroud, but Stroud did so bad on this test that is like football IQ. And for that, they picked Bryce Young.
And
that could really hurt him. No, it wasn't that. It was a football IQ test, like, how many yards is this, and what do you do in this situation, and what do you do in that situation?
I could probably pass that.
Yeah,
probably.
There's so much terminology. I would love someone to send me like a copy of it, just to see if we could do it. We got to Google that later.
Yeah, we should. We should just take a practice test.
Oh, yeah.
See how we do. Send it in the NFL.
It's not a driver's test.
Why not? Yeah. Who knows? That's it for the early window. We got the late window. New England and Las Vegas. It's your team, Vegas. Well, kind of your team. I mean,
Yeah. Oh,
what do
no
you think
doubt.
of this game?
No doubt. I just never have faith in them. But this week, I'm gonna go with the Raiders, no doubt. Patriots. Let me just say this: the Patriots have had so many problems. You know, Belichick seems like he's losing his eye for talent, or I think the coaching is still there, but maybe he needs to relinquish that president GM spot. Mac Jones not looking like an NFL quarterback last week. He looked really bad against the Saints. He threw 4 picks. Bailey Zappi came in to take over. That might happen again, depending if the Raiders land back in the game. We'll see what happens. But the Raiders, I think, will win this pretty easy. But I want to see results from Jacobs. I want to see more of Mayer, Devontae Adams catch a couple of touchdowns. You know, Garoppolo not making bad decisions. I want to see the defense again with Crosby getting in there. By the way, the starting right tackle will be out for the Patriots. So expect Max Crosby to line up on that right side and give that replacement some havoc. I think that's going to be the matchup of the game. Whomever the Patriots are putting out there, they're going to go right through them. And I don't think we'll have the theatrics of last year in the overtime where Jacoby Myers threw the ball backwards. Chandler Jones caught it, stiffed arm Mac Jones, and went on for the score. Yeah, it was very like when I was watching that live last year, I was just thinking like, what the hell did I just see? I was quiet. I didn't even like cheer or anything. I was like, what just happened? Like, did that just happen?
Yeah.
I wasn't even happy about it. I was just like, damn, that was such a horrible play.
You weren't mad, but you weren't happy. You're like, I'm confused.
Yeah, I wasn't like happy, mad, or I just like, dude, that's not the Patriots way. That's not what we've seen from New England all those years. You could tell something's wrong with the Patriots. Like they need a new overhaul of players, a new Patriot way.
It was Brady. That's how I feel. It was Brady.
Yeah.
He kept him in line, I think. And I'm sure if he said, you know what, I'm going to coach the Patriots.
Wow.
That
Imagine that.
Weird. That would be so weird.
So yeah, I'm gonna go with the Raiders. The thing is, what I'm fearful of, and again, what I mentioned with Belichick, he knows a lot of the staff on the Raiders. Basically, he knows the ex-players with the Patriots, the ex-coaches with the Patriots that are on the Raiders now. That might keep the game kind of close, but the Raiders win, no doubt.
I think the Raiders win too. I feel bad for the Patriots. I think that they've lost so much, spark to their team. Mac Jones, obviously, they say that he's their, they're the quarterback for him. I don't see it. And then you release Zappi in the preseason to make
that shocked me.
Your roster. Then you bring him, then you bring him back, and you bench Mac Jones off and on this season for him. Yet you say Mac Jones is your quarterback. I don't know. I don't see it. You don't bench your starting quarterback multiple times and say he's your guy.
They did bring up a wide receiver / quarterback. I think Malik Cunningham. Might see him come in some plays this week against the Raiders. Who knows? But maybe we'll see some sparks from him.
Right. I hope so. I feel bad for the Patriots. I'm picking Vegas, but Jim is too. But having 2 back-to-back losses of 30 points or more is not a good sign. Next we have in our late window Detroit and Tampa Bay. I got Detroit. Tim's got Detroit. Who do you got?
The old NFC Central foes going at it. If you're around all those years ago.
Weird.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's weird.
The Lions at 4-1, the Buccaneers coming off the bye week at 3-1. I think that hurt Tampa Bay because a young team like that, and some of the young team, but that stops momentum basically, and that's what I'm kind of worried about when it comes to the Buccaneers. I know they're home too, so that helps. But I think the Lions, even though Goff, he plays kind of hectic on the road, I think they barely escaped this win. Chris Godwin's playing really good for the Bucs, though. He's playing like before his ACL injury. He's really doing well, and Mike Evans, I think, will be back. The defense will be almost at full strength for the Bucs finally. I mean, all year it seemed like they had 6 or 7 starters out for the Buccaneers defense, and that was kind of their strength coming in. Now you have Baker Mayfield playing well, but again, I hope that the bye week doesn't hurt him. An early bye week, it doesn't hurt the Buccaneers. But I'm gonna go, even though the Lions will be without Gibbs, but Amon Ra St. Brown will be back for the Lions. I think that's going to be really good. Laporta, I don't know if he'll be back. I know he returned to practice Friday. He's questionable still. That's going to be big too. But I think Mike Evans is going to be back, my guess. I know he's had a hamstring injury, but I think he's questionable as well. But I'm still going to go with the Lions. But I think this will be actually maybe the game of the week. I really think so. And the same with tied with Cincinnati and Seattle. I think those two will be the games of the week to watch.
Yeah, I think so too. I got Detroit. They said that this Detroit Lions start at 4-1 is the best since 2011. I think it was 2011, 2012. I can't remember, but it's been a while, long while. And I think Detroit can continue their winning streak. Philadelphia and the Jets. I think we know where this game's going to. But who's your pick for this one?
The injuries, I'm looking at both teams, and Sauce Gardner is going to be out for Philadelphia. That means, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith will have a good day in the air. Jalen Hurts can get rid of the ball. I know if you're the Jets and you don't have Sauce Gardner back there, you're wanting to blitz some, but the Eagle offensive line with Johnson and Kelsey and the others, I think will take care of that. And then I believe the running game will be better for Philadelphia as Penny will be back. But man, the Eagles unfortunately lost Darius Slay, and there was another defender who's out for Philadelphia as well. That could mean a lot. But they do get Fletcher Cox back, so that's good up front. That could, really mess with Zach Wilson. And we'll see if that happens, because if Zach Wilson gets flustered and flundered, he's going to have a difficult time. So I'm going to go with the Eagles in this game. Man, it just sucks because I really wanted to see Rodgers against these good teams, and we don't get to see that this year. There was a report, and I think some video of Rodgers walking without a cast, or walking without crutches. I mean, I don't think he should come back this year. I think that'd be a disaster if he tried to come back. I hope he doesn't try to come back. I mean, injury like that, I don't care if you got the surgery done right away. It takes so long, the rehab, and you should not force it. You should not hurry it up. Human body's not supposed to do that at all. So the Eagles, I think, will go 6-0 in this game.
Unfortunately, I got the Eagles too. And yeah, you don't want to rush it. I think Pat McAfee had that exclusive.
Yeah.
And he's walking okay, but he shouldn't come back.
No.
Walking and running is totally different.
That's what I was saying. The way he was walking, it was like, okay, you're not going to run. I mean, he doesn't run much anyway,
No,
but
more like a
but
tread.
even to just jog, I think would be a chore for him.
It would. Yeah. And Arizona and the Rams.
Mm.
Who you got for that one?
I'm gonna go with LA. The Cardinals will be without James Conner. That's gonna be a big loss. They're already without Buda Baker, of course, Kyler Murray, Joshua Dobbs. He's been a good story as they
Mhm.
stayed in some games this year, and they even messed around and won a couple. But I think the Rams, they found something with Puka Nakua. That's a really good pickup.
I
I
like
mean,
that name.
yeah, it's easy to know pretty much. It stands out. Just think about it. He was a third round pick.
Yeah.
Not many people, really knew of him. Like, I didn't even know of him. But right away in the preseason, I was watching some games, of course, when they played the Raiders in LA. He was putting up numbers in the preseason even. And you just knew they needed someone. They just traded Van Jefferson to the Falcons.
Yeah.
So you knew that he was going to be the guy. Cooper Kupp will be on a pitch count, so to speak. He'll be playing here and there. Matthew Stafford should be able to air it out with Higbee there as well. I would think the Rams defense will have a good day. Maybe Aaron Donald will step up and get some snacks and sacks and
Snacks and sacks. I like
yeah.
that.
Somebody should we should copyright that before somebody takes that. Um,
Yeah.
get Aaron Donald on the phone now, or his agent.
There you go.
Hopefully he gets a couple sacks, and then
Gets a few snacks too.
yeah, get some gummy worms, gummy bears, and then but I think they're gonna double team him, triple team him. They put a fullback or a linebacker or halfback try to block him, or a tight end. You'll probably see some of that. I think the Rams win pretty easy though.
Yeah, I do too. I like Arizona. I like how they're sticking around in games, but I got the Rams in this one. Tim does too. Um, Sunday Night Football. I
Ugh.
like the Eagles matchup. I feel like we kind of know where this is going to. New York Giants and the Buffalo Bills, a battle of New York. Kinda.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Giants with this. I know that.
Whoa.
Oh, not
What'd you say?
Giants. The Bills. The Bills. The Bills.
Oh, okay.
I was looking at the Giants because with Daniel Jones hurt, Tyrod
Yeah.
Taylor will start against the Bills, and then Isaiah Hodgins says there's a low revenge factor for him against Buffalo. But I'm thinking both of those players won't matter when it comes to playing the Bills. I know the Bills, they've had injury woes too the last couple of weeks, losing Matt Milano and then Trey White the week before. They'll probably go out and trade for a corner here and maybe some linebacking help. And then I want to see the running game do well. James Cook, especially. I think Josh Allen may run for a couple of touchdowns. Diggs and Allen, or Diggs and Gabriel Davis should have a good day, good night catching the football. The thing that's going to hurt Buffalo, they won't score as much, I would say, is because both tight ends are very questionable to play. Dalton Kincaid and Dawson Knox. And they're both really good, but both are pretty banged up. So the Bills, I think they put up maybe 35, but it's not going to be crazy. And the Giants, though, I think they get some field goals, maybe like 9 points. It'll probably be like 38-9 or something like that. Buffalo.
Yeah, I got Buffalo too. I don't think the Giants will probably pull it off tomorrow, even with Tyrod Taylor. He is better of the two quarterbacks, but uh, I just don't see it. If they do, great. They needed that victory, but I think Buffalo's going to run away with it. That ends the Sunday night portion. Monday night, Dallas going to Los Angeles to face the Chargers. I got Dallas. Tim's got Dallas. Who do you got?
Whew. I really want the Cowboys to win. I know they're pissed off right now, and
Yeah.
and they feel embarrassed in a way, the way that they lost to the 49ers on Sunday night. And I thought that would happen too, the way that they lost and how they lost. I think that would that would be the way that they lost. But um, it was really unfortunate to see that if you're a Cowboy fan because of all the hype coming in, like this is going to be the game of the year and all that, and it really wasn't, sadly. But I think maybe motivation for each side because Kellen Moore is now the Charger OC now, and he was let go by Dallas. Maybe it wasn't his fault. Maybe it was. Maybe it was Dak's fault. But man, you expect Dallas to come back stronger. The Chargers get back Austin Eckler out of the backfield. I think that's going to do wonders. Vander Esch will be out for the Cowboys. That neck injury looked really bad. I thought that it could have been worse for him on Sunday night. Yeah, the way that the neck snapped back like that or snapped to the side, that'd be really bad. But he'll be out for a while. Man, it seems like Dallas now they're playing for their lives in a way. But I'm hoping the Cowboys win, but I can see the Chargers hanging on maybe this Monday night. What do you think about your team in this matchup? I really want to know.
I feel like it's going to be a better matchup. San Francisco was no match, not even for us, which is a shame. But I think everybody was too hyped for that game.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we had tunnel vision. Of course, with those big matches, I think we always got tunnel vision.
Yeah, it's crazy too because we're not seeing much out of CD Lamb, out of the receivers, the tight ends. The offense isn't really going as well. Pollard hasn't ran the ball like you mentioned well. Man, and then losing Diggs really hurt. I just wonder if Dallas, if they're able to go make some trade deadline moves, but would it even matter, honestly? I just don't know that right now. If that could be the case, because we know they can't win their division with Philly there. We know conference-wise, you're not going to match up well against the Eagles or the Cowboys, or the 49ers. And then anybody else that they would be able to play in the wild card round, if they get there, it's going to be a chore for them. So it's going to be tough sledding for the Cowboys. But man, I hope they somehow, find a way to win. If it takes the Chargers charging and have a mess up or two, I would love that. Seeing that they're in my division. We'll see what happens, man. It's going to be interesting week 6 because a lot of matchups we know, but they actually have to play the games. Like, we think what's going to happen will happen, but you could have some crazy madness happen. Who knows?
Who knows? And, with tiebreakers and all that, you don't want other teams in the conference in general to catch up.
By the way, I know you guys do a lock of the week, and I guess we'll do that now. Mine is Dolphins over the Panthers. What's your lock of the week?
I'll go.
Oh, the Bills game, duh.
Yeah, I'll go. I'll go Philly and New York Jets. I'll go.
Oh,
Philly.
wow. Okay.
Yeah, you just don't want to get too behind in conference play either. But this is not a conference game for Dallas.
No. Should be a pro Dallas crowd too, like 70% maybe Dallas fans. Who knows? That'd be something to look forward to on Monday. Seeing how many Cowboy fans take over. Yeah, see, again, that's what I hate about when Jerry Jones did that in the 90s. It kind of hurt too because both LA teams left, Raiders and Rams, so they were just stuck with whoever would come, practice there or who would be the popular team at the time. That's why you're seeing SoFi, the Rams and Chargers, and now with the Raiders, other teams coming in, popular teams, and just taking over the stadium. Because the Chargers were in San Diego, their stadium got took over, and of course now with the Rams in LA too, their stadium's getting taken over because it's just all the Cowboy fans, all the Niner fans, Steeler fans, they just they're the majority, and it's going to take a while if it ever happens for LA to have an actual team that everybody will back. There's just too many transplants. There's just too many teams that stayed with the Cowboys or the Niners. They won't switch because they're so loyal.
Yeah.
So it's funny how that works. But man, it's been a great morning tailgate.
It has.
I'm gonna finish my coffee here,
There you go.
get to work, and watch some games later.
Yeah. Any final thoughts before we head out?
It's gonna be a fun week 6. Well, it's gonna be maybe some surprises. We'll see what happens. But thank you for everybody that watched. I'll hopefully be back live with the morning tailgate crew for week 7. I think we'll have the Germany game, right?
I think so.
Next week.
Cool. That'll be fun.
Yeah, so a game in the morning. I don't mind that, especially if it's a good one like last week. But this week, I'm not sure. But that's all I have.
Thanks everyone for watching, tuning in. We'll be back next week live for morning tailgate. Enjoy all of the football games, London game, primetime games. Enjoy your team's games. And we'll see you guys next week for another morning tailgate. Have a great week, everybody.